Hi, I'm Leon Lovelace, and this is Unstoppable Force. Now, I have some memory problems. My memory hasn't always been that well, or that good, so I'd always forget stuff. And one thing I've always forgotten, or I should say that I've forgotten lately, is that I forget to say something a little extra, or during certain times of the year, like during the holidays. I kept forgetting to say something about the holidays, so just sorry about that, but just my general bad memory. Plus, I think I've memory problems from playing football and taking all those hits and having all those small concussions. Just really take my memory. So I've maybe another issue, but this isn't what this video is about. But now I'm gonna say, I hope you guys all had a happy new year. So let's get on with it. So I got a news story, and it's from UPI, and it's about how the minimum wage is going up in 18 states. More than 4.5 million workers in 18 states got a raise on January 1st as new minimum wage laws took effect. Of the 18 states, Maine will see the biggest rate, a $1 increase to $10 per hour. 4 states will get the lowest raises of 15 cents more per hour. These states are Florida at $8.25, Minnesota at $9.65, Missouri at $7.85, and Montana at $8.30. Washington will get a 50-cent raise, giving the state the highest minimum wage in the country, $11.50 per hour. Jared Bernstein, a senior fellow at the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, told The Hill that states are more willing to pass legislation to raise minimum wage amounts because there are fewer high-wage jobs available, and low-wage workers have more education than in the past. And I think that's a little bit problematic, because I think they should just start raising the minimum wage, because working class people need a living income so there's less poverty, not just because more people are getting pushed out of high wage jobs. Alright, as the population of low wage workers has become a bit more upscale, many places are willing to adjust their minimum wages, especially given the pervasive research that supports moderate increases, Bernstein said. States and localities have been increasingly willing to raise their own minimum wages, as the federal value has been stuck at $7.25. Federal minimum wage of $7.25 hasn't been raised since 2009. So of course, what we need to push Congress to do is push it to $15 an hour and just tie it to inflation. So the conservative Democrats and the conservative Republicans don't keep saying, oh, well, our donors here say that if we raise it another $2 an hour, they're just going to collapse and they're not going to be able to make any profits. They're going to have to fire everybody and just go on with all their bullshit and their lies about how they just can't pay the workers that they have right now. I mean, because especially if you listen to NPR like I do, and just MSNBC and CNN and all other mainstream news outlets, that's all they do, is they all go and get some business owners that say, oh, well, if we can't raise the wages, the minimum wages can't go up, because if they go up, I'm going to have to fire people. I just can't pay people any more than I'm paying them now. Maybe for these small business owners that aren't making a big profit, maybe that's the case. But for these medium-sized business owners that are making a nice profits, and these huge corporations that are making massive profits, guess what? They could pay their workers a $15 minimum wage or $17 minimum wage if we go and say, you know what, we're going to push it past the $15 an hour minimum wage that we want, because it'll be even better for the economy and it'll be better for society if people actually get paid a little bit more than what they earn. Because the Economy Policy Institute says the wage is too low. If minimum wage had kept up with productivity since the late 1960s, the federal minimum wage would be worth about $19 an hour in 2018, think tank said in a statement. As higher wages, including living wages, become a greater part of the political conversation in the United States, the country still lags behind other countries in terms of a minimum wage that is comparable to the country's cost of living. According to the Washington Post, the federal rate of $7.25 is the lowest national minimum wage relative to the median wage of any wealthy nation in the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. And we've seen this because I've done reports on how the income inequality has grown larger and is the worst it's been in the United States for quite a few decades. And that upward mobility for the income classes has also been the worst it's been in the United States than it's been in decades. And that upward mobility is also better in Europe than it is in the United States right now. Because I guess historically, especially back in the 1800s, upward mobility in the social classes was a lot easier to do here in the United States versus in Europe. And it's also shown in the fact that 40% of U.S. workers make under $20,000 a year. So all these increases in the minimum wage is good, and we need to push our state governments and we need to push our federal governments to increase these shitty minimum wages, because some of these states have shitty minimum wages, and of course the federal rate is really terrible. So we also push our cities to do this, and we could reduce, and we have the money to eliminate poverty in the United States. We have the fucking money. It's just that our politicians it's just that the corporations and the CEOs bought the politicians, so they get all the money shoveled up to the CEOs and all the business owners. So we need to take back our fucking government so we could spread out the wealth to everybody. Not just the United States, but throughout everybody in the rest of the world. Because we have the money to do it.